finally clears out for us in that full forecast.
The FDA could approve Pfizer's COVID vaccine for emergency use by the end of the day. This after an advisory panel voted to endorse the drug yesterday. As Chris Martinez reports, this means healthcare workers and those in nursing homes could get the vaccine within days.
The FDA has informed Pfizer its regulators are working rapidly to approve the drug maker's vaccine for emergency use.
We could be seeing people getting vaccinated Monday, Tuesday of next week.
In a 17-4 vote with one abstention Thursday, an FDA advisory committee concluded the Pfizer vaccine is safe and effective for emergency use for those 16 and older, even with recent concerns about allergic reactions in 2 UK healthcare workers.
I voted yes, enthusiastically.
Kendra Piot will be among the first to receive the COVID-19 vaccine once it's approved. The nurse manager in Grand Rapids, Michigan, says the shot represents peace of mind for those working on the front lines.
Having the vaccine for us is just the beginning to the end of this pandemic.
California is among the states dealing with a surge in COVID cases and hospitalizations. There are concerns here. The darkest days of the pandemic are yet to come.
Dr. Erica Flores Uribe is an ER doctor at LA County USC.
We are doing everything that we can to make space, but everything has its limits.
Once the epicenter of the outbreak, New York City will end indoor dining beginning Monday due to rising infection rates.
We're about to walk into the Hanukkah surge and the Christmas surge.
Even with a vaccine, the nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says it could be months before things get back to normal. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Dr. Fauci expects the nation to reach herd immunity by next fall, which sounds so far away right now. The U.S. recorded more than 3,100 deaths on Wednesday alone, the highest one-day total yet. COVID-19 vaccine prep kits now being delivered across the U.S. The Postal Service shipped more than 1,000 boxes with those kits to all 50 states. The boxes have things like syringes, masks, sanitizer, and vaccination record cards. This is the first of a 3-step process. The second step is to ship the actual vaccine once it gets FDA approval, then a shipment of dry ice for sites that don't have super cold refrigeration. But how will those vaccines be stored as they're trying to transport them around the country? FedEx is laying out their plan. They shared this video of their cold chain center in Memphis, Tennessee. Pfizer's vaccine has to be stored at those really cold temps, negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit. The company says the vaccines will get priority flights. They'll have location tracking, temperature monitoring. Doesn't sound cheap. FedEx and UPS are also working with the FAA, so planes carrying the vaccine receive priority takeoff and landing clearance. With COVID cases surging, Clorox wipes still in high demand. The company says the wipe shortage could last until the middle of next year. Who had wipes for post-apocalyptic currency? Not me, but they say they are producing more wipes than ever. For the third time since the pandemic began, Clorox pushed back the time frame for easing that nationwide shortage. They plan to up their production by February. The government plans to execute 4 more prisoners before Inauguration Day. This comes after outrage last. A super close call for a driver in New Hampshire. Police say the man was driving when a huge chunk of ice from the box truck in front of him crashed into his windshield. He now has severe cuts to the face, and the driver of the box truck could be facing charges. Disney announced more than 100 new original shows and films coming to Disney+, and one of those shows features one of our neighbors. Coco Hillary grew up in Edgefield County. He'll be featured in the Disney movie Safety that comes out this Friday. Tells the true story of former Clemson University football player Ray McAfee. With so much new content, though, Disney says it plans to raise the price of Disney Plus by $1 in March. Christmas is just around the corner, which means if you plan to do any last-minute online shopping, it needs to be done soon. We'll show you how to make sure presents make it under the tree.
America.
The holidays looking different this year, so is the shopping. And listen up, today is the day to get that online shopping done. Go ahead and put it in the cart. If you wait, you'll risk hefty fees for on-time delivery, or even worse, those gifts might not show up on time. Jolene Kent tells us how to prevent this.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And if you want toys for the girls and boys in your life to make it under the tree on time, time is running out.
It's just constantly getting busier and busier every single day.
With many people avoiding in-person shopping this year, staying safer at home, more present purchasing is being done online than ever before.
I don't have any thought of going to any store this year.
This holiday season, $184 billion in sales are expected to be made from the comfort of consumers' couches. And all that online shopping adds up to lots of holiday shipping. 3 billion packages are expected to be shipped between Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's 800 million more than last year. And once you've checked all the gifts off your list, you better get them wrapped up and shipped out fast.
This year's Christmas volume has been unheard of and unprecedented.
Although major carriers like UPS, FedEx, and the Post Office set their official deadlines for next week, experts say the last day for free shipping that'll arrive in time for Christmas is today. That's 3 days earlier than last year. After that, it could cost you. And this year, many online retailers are giving shipping estimates, not guarantees.
A 5-day package could be taking 8 to 9 days to get there.
More millennials say they'll be using curbside pickup for the holidays. But it's a good backup plan for procrastinators of all ages, scrambling for solutions this year. Aaron Bornfleck's team at Left Coast Originals is working around the clock to keep up with orders, but he worries about his custom wood and leather creations making it to customers.
Once it leaves our workshop, we have no control over any delays or what happens to the package. You're dealing with a third party that's taking your thing to the customer, and if they do their job, great, and if they don't, you're the one they bought from, so you're the one who is ultimately responsible for getting it to them.
How do you think the big carriers are doing?
I think they're doing all they can. We're getting multi-pickups, actually more than one time during the day. Sometimes they'll send 2 trucks out.
Santa's helpers working around the clock to bring the gifts of this holiday season to your front door.
You can see it on Amazon now. Arrives before Christmas, expected to arrive before Christmas. We'll see. If you do end up missing the online shopping deadline or you don't want to waste all that money on shipping fees, digital gift cards, great procrastinator option. Also, shopping local. You can just go pick it up curbside. Buzz Lightyear getting his own movie, but he's going to look and sound a little different. That's because Chris Evans, the former Captain America, is playing human Buzz. The former Captain America will be voicing it. Evans explained his new role in a tweet, saying he isn't playing Buzz Lightyear the toy, but the human test pilot it was based on. But to be clear, it will still be a cartoon movie. Tim Allen voiced Buzz Lightyear in all 4 Toy Story movies. Not really sure why he's not being this Buzz, but we will find out. The new movie Lightyear is set to release in June of 2022. But one classic movie character is staying the same. Harrison Ford returning for one more movie as the iconic Indiana Jones. This will be the 5th movie of the franchise, and officials confirm it will be the last. Set to be released in July 2022, 41 years after that first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And in case you're wondering, Harrison Ford is now 78 years old. Riley?
For the weekend, we are expected to stay
After Vice President Pence's rally yesterday, different sides of the aisle, but their messages are the same. Go vote. And you can see they're getting ready to start that, and we will keep dipping in as soon as the Reverend takes the stage. We will let you know. But first tonight, we're learning the military may be among the first to get COVID vaccine doses once a plan is approved. And the Department of Defense plan says Augusta will be one of less than 40 VA medical centers to get the vaccine first.
All this news comes as daily cases continue to climb in both states. A record number of new cases in South Carolina today with 3,100 new cases. That beats the previous record set last week by more than 400 cases. In Georgia, 4,700 new cases today. That's at least 4,000 new cases in Georgia, 3 of the last 5 days.
And here at home, this is the trend of COVID hospitalizations. You can see that number has shot up in the past week. 84 patients at University Hospital and 60 at AU Health. Since last Friday, AU Health, University, and doctors have a combined 56 more patients.
Frontline healthcare workers and people in long-term care facilities could start getting vaccinated against COVID-19 as early as next week. But it all hinges on FDA approval of Pfizer's vaccine candidate. That could come as early as today. We are listening for word out of Washington. So far, nothing of that yet. Once a vaccine is approved, the Charlie Norwood VA could be one of the first places to get it.
Charlie Norwood has seen more than 600 COVID cases since the start of the pandemic. Cindy Heiberger tells us about their plans for rolling out the vaccine.
We asked you on Facebook, how comfortable are you taking a COVID vaccine once it becomes available? Most of you said you weren't comfortable taking it at all. We took those concerns to our local health experts to hear what they had to say. A process that can easily take more than a decade, condensed into a matter of months. But health experts around the globe claim the vaccines for COVID-19 are safe.
All of the normal measures that go into place to ensure vaccine safety have been done.
Dr. Philip Kuhl at AU Health says the new COVID vaccines still underwent 3 clinical trials and were tested on nearly 75,000 people collectively. The difference here is the timeline.
We eliminated a lot of the wasted waiting between the completion of one trial, analysis of the data.
But what about the nearly 16 million Americans who've already had the virus and built up antibodies?
The immunity that is developed from this series of 2 shots appears to be better than what we see with the disease itself.
And while it's still too early to know for sure, that immunity is also expected to last longer than, say, getting a flu shot, meaning experts don't think you'll need to get the vaccine often.
There's a lot of reason to believe that this immunity will be much longer lasting, much more like what we see with the measles vaccine.
And Dr. Kuhl says while the vaccine could signal the end of this pandemic,
this is the most encouraging news.
It all depends on how many people actually take it. A possible downside here is just because you get the vaccine doesn't mean you don't still have to wear a mask, at least for now. Scientists haven't yet been able to prove that you can't still carry the virus to another person even if you can't get sick from it yourself. Reporting in Augusta, Sydney Heiberger on your side.
And White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows says he wants approval of the Pfizer vaccine candidate by the end of the day.
Have a live look outside now. Let's listen.
Georgia, we need you to not just show up January 5th, not just win, but to crush it. We need you to crush it.
Loeffler's campaign tells us she will be in Evans next Sunday, but did not give us any details about where or what time. We'll let you know. But we've also reached out to Senator Perdue's campaign about his next stop in our area. Laura.
Tracking cyber threats in real time. It's not something out of a spy movie anymore. It is the new Network Security Operations Center at the Georgia Cyber Center.
How cool is this room? It's being used right now as cybersecurity for all of Augusta University properties. Brady Trapnell looks at the future of cyber services right here at home.
This is a near real-time cyber attacks map from around the world. It's just one of the tools they're using here at Augusta University's Security Operations Center. It may remind you of something out of a movie, but it's protection for the future.
Our primary mission is to defend Augusta University and Augusta University Health System against cyber threats.
Dr. Heather Ruskowski is the Chief Information Security Officer for AU. She says cyber threats come daily.
Ransomware, phishing, spear phishing, any attempts to either gain access to data
or fill a hacker's pockets. But this space is also for another kind of future.
Working here is an honor.
Delaney Whitman is one of many students working here already.
I think especially because we're in the medical district, I think having the ability to see the alerts that come specifically to the healthcare system and through the hospital are extremely important, especially in Augusta.
Students and professionals work together to protect patient data at AU Health. But with high-level companies down the hall, there's an economic engine starting up.
And potentially one of our students could leave us as a student assistant and walk straight into employment with one of these other organizations. Is hands down a major opportunity.
And a major opportunity for the CSRA. That kind of access can attract companies and students. It already has.
I've heard a lot of excitement and just wanting to know more about the space and what it does.
It's a cyber center building a cyber workforce, laying the groundwork for the future of Augusta.
The future way of developing our cyber professionals is through actual operations like this.
Officials here are hoping to staff this facility 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and help staff it with students, along with partnerships from Fort Gordon. Reporting in Augusta, Brady Trapnell on your side.
Really impressive work going on there, and AU says hundreds of students are in the Cyber Center taking classes every day.
Many of them are taking a class and just walking down the hall to their part-time jobs, so pretty cool opportunity indeed. It's not how they imagined it. The college graduates did get the chance to walk across the stage today. This is a live look at the third of 3 commencement ceremonies for Augusta University grads. from this fall, but also this past spring and summer semesters. They're all getting the chance to turn that tassel. AU was hoping back in October today would be an in-person graduation with friends and family at the James Brown Arena, but officials say after the recent spike and talking with doctors and students, they thought this was best for everyone.
Also this evening, a man behind bars accused of setting this fire at a Columbia County storage facility. The smoke could be seen from miles away at 4:30 Wednesday morning. This was at the Storage Sense on Bel Air Frontage Road. 34-year-old John Terzia is accused of setting that fire. He's charged now with arson. Officials tell us nearly 30 units were damaged by fire, smoke, and water.
Quicker response times by firefighters in the Fort Gordon area. That is what this new fire station opening up in South Augusta expects to do. This was the ribbon cutting today for the station number 20 on Old Highway 1 off Deansbridge Road in Hepzibah. This is the second new Augusta fire station to open this year, and this comes as city leaders are trying to revamp the Augusta Fire Department. Earlier this month, commissioners voted in favor of an early retirement for Fire Chief Chris James. For 3 years, our I-team investigated issues with training and morale complaints within the department.
It is a big help for military families during the holidays. Food Lion partnering with Operation Homefront to provide meals, and that's exactly what they were doing today. Volunteers handing out 150 gift cards to military families. They'll be used to buy the essentials for a traditional holiday meal. Normally, Operation Homefront cooks and gives out the meals, but organizers say they're just happy they could help.
I am thrilled that we are still able to pivot and be able to do this for our families because they need it more than ever.
With today's donation, Operation Homefront has now served 500,000 meals to local military families.
I want to take you back live to Greater Young's.
There for his donors, but not for us.
From the football field to the little screen, a local football star is making it as an actor right now.
Coco Hillary played football at Strom Thurmond High School before heading off to App State to play there for a really great team. As Nick Proto tells us, he's now a character on Disney Plus's newest movie, Safety.
Coco Hillary learned hard work as a kid growing up in Edgefield.
Very blue collar, roll up the sleeves, go to work.
Coco was a star quarterback for Strom Thurmond High School, leading the Rebels to their first state title in nearly 40 years. After never being far from home, he moved 4.5 hours away to continue his football career at App State.
Caught by Hillary!
His first plane ride was to Ann Arbor for a game against the Michigan Wolverines in 2007.
Appalachian State has stunned the college football world, one of the greatest upsets in sports history.
My biggest fear was to go and not accomplish the things that I set out to do because I figured it would be a representation of where I come from.
While at App State, Coco formed a strong relationship with team chaplain Reggie Hunt.
You always look for people while you're off at school to kind of resonate the feeling of being home, and he was able to do that for me.
Hunt connected him with a group who teaches sports choreography for movies.
I didn't want nobody to offer something like that and then go and embark on it, so I just gave it a try. I mean, why not, right?
After doing some background work, Coco landed a role in the new Disney Plus film Safety. He plays Calvin Morrow, a football player at Clemson. Through all the success he's had, Coco always comes back to his roots. When I asked him where he wanted to do this interview, he chose Big Rod's Barbershop, where he's been going for years.
I always come back to this place right here for that humbleness, for that real respect from the real people that you knew growing up as a kid, because nobody respects you more than that.
Because we've seen so many get lost in different ways. So to see a kid come out and do something positive that can enlighten other kids, it's very exciting.
Coco hopes his story encourages other small-town kids to follow their dreams, too.
You only got one life to live, but you only got one legacy to give, and nothing's unobtainable. You can accomplish anything with the right fortitude and persistence.
In Edgefield, Nick Proto, on your side.
And I love that a former App State player plays a Clemson football player in this movie, but this is the first of many for him, so that's just great.
Yeah, we have to see his continued success. We love all of our famous roots here in Augusta. There's a long legacy of it.
He sure is dedicated.
Yeah.
Let's head back to campaign trail now if we can. I believe we have the candidate himself on stage, Reverend Rob. Sounds good, Riley. Thank you. Some disturbing video out of Florida to show you a youth football coach hitting one of his players. Plus, not the best coaching conduct from Georgia Tech either. Mike has more next in sports.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
The Augusta Bulldogs youth football team is currently playing for an American Youth Football national title
in Orlando, Florida. Shocking video coming out of the same tournament that you have to see to believe. And folks, I have to warn you, some of you may find this video disturbing. Gerald Williams of the Savannah Gators is seen here punching one of his players on the helmet during a Monday game. Please keep in mind, this kid is playing in the 9-under age class. What's even more shocking is Williams strikes the young player a second time about 15 seconds later. That is unacceptable conduct for anyone. Williams serves as a counselor in the Chatham County Detention Center and was given the choice between being fired or resigning, and he quit. Disgusting. That's not the only poor coaching character we've seen this week. Following last night's game between Georgia Tech and Pitt, head coach Jeff Collins barely acknowledges Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi and storms away. Collins says it was a heat-of-the-moment action and that it wasn't intentional.
There were some things throughout the game that got chippy, and I was just making sure that I wanted to get to my guys. So if I came across any type of way, really had no intention of that.
Well, in some happier news, 4 Elite 8 matchups coming your way tonight. Lincoln County hosts Clinch County. Washington Wilkes is on the road at Brooks County. Jefferson County hosts Bremen. And Warren County is on the road at Metter. We'll have coverage from all 4 of those games coming up tonight at 11.